For a moment, you can see the conflict behind Marta's eyes. If cognitive dissonance had a face, it would be hers. Confused, frightened, angry, at war with herself. For a moment, she struggles to speak. And then the whispering sensation that you felt outside the compound comes back, and her face changes. The muscles of her brow relax, and she appears to be at peace. Why are you asking me this, Glory? You already know the answers. The kids here, they aren't being hurt. They're walking the path to a free and pure life, just like Harrow taught us. Yep, the shrine is whispering to her, Glory. I can feel it too. She's blissed out on it, like you said. Okay, I want to do that. I haven't even been in Forestella for an hour, Marta. In that time, I found evidence of horrifying levels of abuse. I'm gonna inform Glory, because Glory might be doubting herself. No, actually, wait. Glory is immune to the whisper. She can't tell. Because, of all the chrome. She's not influenceable by, whatever the word is, by the shrine. So I'm gonna go with that. Marta continues, her joyful smile widening. Her voice is placid. Harrow is a great man, a prophet. True, sacrifices have to be made, but what he brings in return, it's so much love, Glory. You remember? Glory grits her teeth, but gives you a small nod. Yeah, you're right. After so many years living here, I don't know if she even knows what normal feels like anymore. She steps forward and grabs Marta by the shoulders. It's a curiously soft gesture. Marta, if what you're saying is true, if you ever really did care for me, then please give me your key. It's important. She blinks. Marta does. Key? Whatever you use to get past the wards outside of Harrow's shrine, I need it. Don't ask why. Just do this for me. You owe me that much. She looks momentarily conflicted, Marta does, and then the moment passes. No. Harrow said that I had to guard this. He told me that I could never take it off. I can't question one of Harrow's orders. It would be wrong. Big answer over here. Maybe. You questioned him about what he's planning on doing with those initiates back there. Was that wrong? Oh yeah, because we heard this. So, what if I could convince you that it wouldn't be wrong to question him? Wow. Well, I could. Like it's in the tenements. Tenements? Tenants? I actually don't know how that word goes. It's in the book that we read. So maybe that is the key for that. Or maybe we need to have all of them ready. This is getting old as the last option. Let's go with the first one. Although that one would be interesting. Let's go with that. I want that, even though I feel that maybe both of them are okay and this one is not. I don't know. Let's go with this one. What if I could convince you that it wouldn't be wrong to question him? Marta blinks. Then that thing that you saw behind her eyes locks down again, and the flicker of unease on her face is replaced with an easy smile. You're welcome to try, but I promise you'll walk away from this apologizing for how wrong you are. Harrow is a great man. Forestella is a good place. Stay here for a while, and you'll learn that for yourself. She crosses her arms over her chest. Go ahead, ask your questions. We have nothing to hide. The first one, or not the first one, the second one over here. I've read Harrow's Manifesto. Let's go with that one. I think that is how, well, that's the most interesting, so I'll go with that. I've read Harrow's Manifesto. It looks like he spends a long time talking about charity. She nods eagerly. Oh, dang it, why? Because we didn't read everything. Well, I have a save. I want to save her, and I will. But we can't choose the first option. Marta nods eagerly. Yes, of course, charity. The kind that I practice when I rescue young people from the streets. You have a funny definition of charity. No, I mean it, in the same way that anybody would. We provide these runaways with food, shelter, and a sense of purpose. We set them free. If that isn't charitable, I don't know what is. Harrow is hurting the runaways that bring you here. You can see that, can't you? Her smile shifts into an expression of mock concern. Hurting? How so? I'm not gonna invite her to talk about talk about the rapes, because it's hard for people to understand things when they're victims under these circumstances. He's going to make the initiates, the young initiates, like the girl in the next room, do something horrible. Her smile slowly fades. That girl, such a sweet young thing. I rescued her from a bad place, Glory. Her and the boys in that dorm as well. But they're all safe now. And isn't that what's important? Are they? You know what I'm talking about, Marta. The harvesting, the meat? Marta blinks. She looks momentarily confused, and then you see the conviction clamp down behind her eyes. It's regrettable, yes, but it happens for a good reason. The sacrifices keep us safe here, and anxiety is something that a lot of these kids have never known. The initiates have to learn how things are done here. We all have our responsibilities. Did you have anything else to say? Any other examples of how Harrow is supposedly hurting us to wave in my face? If so, do it. I'm all ears. I can't promise that you'll like my response, though. Well, I'll go with the first one. I don't think she can promise that I'll like it. He's corrupting you all. How many of them has he taken as wives? Yourself included. She rolls her eyes at you. A lesson in Puritan values from a Shadowrunner. How quaint. Let's see what happens here. Yes, child rape for sure. I can see that he has brainwashed you into thinking that this is okay. If your arrangement works for you, I won't judge you for it. Not making a valid judgment, just an observation. I think there's two options about judging. I'm gonna go with this one, with child abuse. This isn't about you. I don't care what you do, Marta. I'm talking about child abuse. Harrow doesn't take the young ones for wives. I don't know what Glory's told you, but he isn't a monster. And even the youngest initiates here aren't children. Not really. Her voice goes soft. Life on the street took that from them a long time ago. Fewer Stella lets them be themselves, but in a safe place. Certainly safer than the back alleys of some urban hellhole like the one that you live in. I was young when he chose me, Marta. Maybe not innocent, but young. Somewhere deep down you know that this is wrong. When you lived with us, you didn't think it was wrong. You loved it here. You can rewrite history to cast yourself as the victim if you want to. If demonizing me helps, you can do that, too. But nobody ever forced you to do anything, Glory. Glory falls silent. The color drains from her face. And what Marta is doing here is why it's hard to... is why it's hard for victims to comprehend that they are indeed victims in a lot of these circumstances. Is because her argument of... like, you didn't fight, or you didn't think it was wrong at the time, or, like, you liked it. All of those arguments are, like, Glory made those arguments for herself a long time ago, many times, before she even came to the conclusion that she was indeed the victim, before she left here, even. Yeah, Marta is just doing them again. And of course, when it's you making your own arguments against yourself, they're not nearly as powerful as when it's somebody else doing them, so this hits. This is clearly a difficult subject, Marta says. I don't know what you were hoping to achieve by bringing it up, but I promise you, you aren't going to convince me to abandon my way of life. Our ways here are our own. You can't change that. All that you can do is accept it and move on. Another reason why... Another reason why rape is so common, and not just rape, but... rape in particular for a reason, but sexual relationships with a leader, which are inherently, like, from a power dynamic standpoint, is inherently unbalanced. And rape being about power. The reason is, it's a form of making sure that people know very personally who the leader is. In more ways than can be just said out loud and just, I know Harrow is the leader, you know what I mean? So that's why sexual relationships are so common in cults. It's obviously a lot more complicated than I know and certainly than I can understand, but or that I can explain, I should say. But yeah, this is her saying how our ways here are our own is just reminds me of that. It's very much of a cult. I can see that Harrow has you brainwashed into thinking that this is okay, but Marta, it isn't. You just don't know when to give up, do you? Our ways aren't yours, but that doesn't give you the right to judge us. Who are you to impose your ideology on this commune? An outsider? Ooh. Was it the adversary or was it the outsider? I named an episode called... I had an episode called The Adversary, but it wasn't the episode where we learned about the adversary or the outsider. It wasn't the outsider. Is it the outsider? What's the real world name for or not name, but I guess title for the deity of Satanism? I don't know. It could be Satan. I'm sure in a lot of sects it is. Anyway, an outsider, a person with a functioning sense of right and wrong. That's the wrong thing to do. That's the wrong argument to make right there. Not that it's not true, but it's the wrong argument. It doesn't work like that for her or for her philosophy. All right, I'm not going to stand here and listen to you try to justify it. Give us the key now. Okay, it's the first one, which is lovely, because if this works, then I'm mentioning the outsider. Let's see if it clicks for her. I don't think so. I think we had to read the book and do something. We might reload and just go back, but we'll figure it out. An outsider, I'm going to say. Someone who hasn't been corrupted by Harrow or his pet spirit. I'd say that qualifies me to offer an opinion. I'll tell you what you are. You're the kind of person that Harrow has always warned us about. Your sense of moral outrage doesn't trump our right to live the way we choose. She takes a deep breath, struggles to calm herself. If you have no more accusations to hurl at my husband, go ahead and do it. Or if you have more, I'll tell you how wrong you are. I prefer to keep this conversation civil, but that's up to you. Yeah, there's something else that I'd like to ask you about. Go ahead, I won't stop you. Dang it, we needed to read that book. I will read that book. Give us the amulet, Marta. It's the right thing to do. Oh, yes. She nods eagerly. I'll give it to you. She fishes the amulet out of her blouse. It dangles on a golden chain, glinting in the firelight. Here, it's all yours. This is a trap. It feels like it's the game that's broken, though. It feels like I passed some threshold of argumentation, and then the game has her give me the amulet, but I'm not going to say that it is. Put it on the floor and step back. I don't trust you. All right, fine. If that's how you want this to go, then so be it. She swings the amulet on its chain. If you want this, you're going to have to kill me for it. Glory shifts into an attack posture. When she speaks, her voice is unsteady. I'm sorry that it came to this, Marta, but you're too far gone to save. If what you want is a fight, we'll give you one. I didn't want this, Glory, says Marta. I wish that we could have come out of this friends. If you haven't convinced me of anything, and I made a... But you haven't convinced me of anything, and I made a promise to protect this with my life. Best of luck with that. I won't need luck, outsider. Harrow, my husband, taught me how. She stares at Glory, and her eyes are sad. She raises her hands, and they begin to glow. See for yourself. Nah, I won't. Sorry. It's just how it goes. So we got a quick save just before here. We have autosaves galore. We have the beginning of last episode, and not this episode, because we stopped the episode midway through. It's like complicated. So I need to go back to the book. It's kind of funny because now I know what it is. But Glory just drove me really, really, what's the word? Uneasy. When she said, it made me really uneasy when she said, oh, Harrow can be, like, freaking hell. Anyway, we know where it is. Just need to inspect that terminal. Oh no, it's not the terminal, it's the book. I just need to read it, like, more. Continue reading. Leafing through the middle of the book, you find a section dedicated to Harrow's rules of living. Be free. All caps. Be free in all things and experience that freedom with your whole being, body, mind, and spirit. Discard the oppressive traditions of modesty and shame that you've been indoctrinated with since birth. The free thinker has no use for them. Your body is a source of pride, of pleasure, and of succor for yourself and for others. Enjoy it, and share that joy freely with those who desire it. Be selfish. Don't enslave yourself to others at the expense of your own happiness. Take what you want, and do so unashamedly. Our desires are an important part of what makes us human. Society has trained us to hide that part of ourselves from the world, but the free-living person doesn't cower in the shadows. Own your desires and rejoice in them. Selflessness is ultimately dishonest, and dishonesty has no place in a free society. Show reverence. The free living understands that the only true governance in this world is the law of nature, and that in nature there is a hierarchy. The rabbit doesn't question the wolf. The house does not wonder why it must run from the cat. They do because they must. Their survival depends on it. As it is in nature, so it is in a Führerstelle. Know your place in the food chain and understand the mechanisms by which you can better yourself. Yeah, so it's getting ever more cult-like. Not that it's entirely unrelated to the well, as far as I understand, to what Satanism is, but it's definitely twisted. You leaf forward and find that there are at least 20 more pages worth of rules. Each is worded vaguely enough to have multiple interpretations. Let's just continue reading. We're in it to save Marta at this point. The final pages of the Manifesto devolve into semi-cohesive rants about anarchy, social Darwinism, free love, and the horned gods. You've seen this kind of thing before. Harrow's, quote, philosophy, unquote, is collapsing under its own weight. Yeah. Unfortunately, none of his cultists seem to have caught on to that fact. Glory lets out a startled cry, cutting her sentence short. Out of the corner of her eye, you see her will to face something behind you. All at once, the room fills with a slaughterhouse smell, a smell like blood and bile and feces, the stench of an abattoir. As you turn, you catch sight of something sliding into the world. It looks like a charred man, with a pair of tortured faces where its shoulders should be. The thing burns like a Roman candle, spitting white-hot sparks in a fiery plume. An oily substance runs down between its dangling legs and spatters onto the floor, and where those drips land, they burn. Edie, look! I know. Can we, What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Ooh, look at all the amazing things that I have. Let's just, no. It's what's the one that reduces action points? Thrusts. Is that the one? It says AP, what? No, that's armor penetration. Wait a minute. Hits more than one target with a mastery. It's got this SDN. That's the stun. That's what it is, right? Basic melee attack. Stun 1. Right. A pommel strike is the one. Okay. Hiccups. I have a lot of hiccups. Okay, that's a miss. That is it. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh, he's going for... No, please don't attack, Katie. Dang it. Well, that's a lot of damage. So that's good, because the other one... Oh, it doesn't... Oh, we don't need to deal with this. Screw that noise. Actually, you know what? That's not bad enough. We'll just kill it and see where this goes. Soundtrack is lovely. The body of the thing that attacked you begins to dissolve at the moment of death. As you watch, its tissues break down into a growing slick of bubbling pitch and rendered fat. What the hell was that? Something from another place. Glory stares at the remains of the creature, now a dark stain on the library's floorboards. Like I said outside, the boundaries between the physical world and the astral space are weak here. Things can come through. I think we've gotten everything from the book that we're going to. She nods. Let's get the hell out of here. We need to keep moving away. Moving anyway. Yes, that is true. And I could save over here, but I'm not gonna. So we did lose a little bit of damage, or a little bit of health, but it was only the initial attack. The 12. Because you heal the last attack that you get when combat ends. So we should be fine. It's not a problem. So, here we are again. There we go. And I can press tab a bunch of times and skip most of the thing. And then I can say the same things. Because, you know, I want to... It's basically choosing a different thing. Let's go with the thing that she's not lying. The first one is the one that we went with. And that one. Let's go with the second one, which is the one that we went with before. And I warned Glory about what happened. What if I can convince you? I've read Manifesto. There it is. I've read the Manifesto, and she said, and I asked about charity, and she says, "Yes, of course, charity, the kind that I practice when I rescue young people from the streets." And but then in his rules of living, I say, he says that all free thinkers are supposed to be selfish. Well, yes, but and after that, he says that only the strong deserve to prosper. So, which is it? Marta blinks. She looks momentarily confused, and then you see the conviction clamp down behind her eyes. You just don't understand the beauty of his message, the truth behind it. Dang it. Dang it. Unless I chose something... Unless this is the wrong one. No, this is not the... No, these... No, I don't know. I think the first and the last one there are there too. An outsider, and she says, "I'll tell you who you are," that kind of person. This is a different answer. I asked her to give me the amulet, and she says, "I don't know if you expected any of that to mean anything, but it doesn't. None of it matters." She fishes the amulet out of her blouse. It dangles on a golden chain, glinting in the firelight. "If you want this, you're going to have to kill me for it." Really? Well, I guess we didn't save her. And I think we might be fighting more than her. 89% and I missed. Maybe we're not fighting. Nah, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of tricky. So she's sleeping, so I'm just gonna attack normally. Yeah, that's neutrals. Well, we did our best. And it's a block on the action point damage. She's a little bit weird, because she only has -3. She said it should have minus... There it is. I don't know. That's the maximum. Oh, I didn't... Well, I missed anyway, so it doesn't matter. She doesn't stop. -4. Glory stands, staring at the red ruin of Marta's body. Her eyes flit down to her claws, and an expression of growing horror creeps across her face. "You okay, Glory?" He takes her a long time to respond. Her voice is choked with long, dormant emotion. "No, I'm not. I'm sorry it had to be done." Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry it had to be done, but yeah, let's see. She deserved to die. Remember what she did to the other kids here. To you. She snarls out an answer. Her face has flushed red. "I know. I haven't forgotten anything." To your astonishment, you see that her eyes are welling with tears. "Glory?" All at once, the blood drains from her cheeks. She wipes the water from her eyes with a cold metal hand. "Save the consolation speech. I'm over it." Her voice is frigid. "Dead." She nods in the direction of the shrine room door. "We got what we came here for. Let's go finish this." Did we? I didn't pick it up yet. Marta's amulet. Can we look at it? Marta's blood-spattered amulet. Yes, we can. It's probably possible to get Marta to join you. Although I also would believe that it isn't. If somebody tells me it isn't, then I say join you, but really just stop being part of the cult. Yeah, but of course, you know, we didn't do it. So, and Glory's reaction is basically as I expected. Are we saving? Because I think I just saved. Yes, we did. A couple of times, in fact. Okay, let's go in. As you step forward, the scintillating red light that streams from the doorway flickers and dies. There is a strange, lurching sensation in your gut, but it clears out almost instantly. The door swings open with a touch. That seems to have done it. Glory nods and then reaches into her satchel. Her hand comes back out, clutching a small jar. I'm going to put a smear of this on your forehead. It's a sort of alchemical balm. Her voice goes quiet. Harrow taught me how to make it. She unscrews the cap from the jar, revealing a pale white ointment. The surface glitters strangely in the dim light. If you ever wondered where my share of the take from our jobs has gone, this is the answer. Powdered orichalcum isn't cheap. Orichalcum? I know that word. I believe it's wolfram. Although that word is more German than English. English does have does have that word, wolfram. What is it called? I'm looking it up right now. Orichalcum. Oh, that's from coins. That's why. That's why I know it. Is a metal mentioned in... Oh, it's mentioned! Right. It's not actually true. That's why... Yeah, I probably know it from comic books and stuff. May have been a noble metal such as platinum. This was to be mined... Wait, is this... It's real? Yeah. Critias claims that orichalcum had been considered second only to gold. That's why. Okay, there we go. That's where I know it from. It's probably just a worse kind of gold or something like that. Let's ask. Orichalcum, what's that? An alchemical alloy? It's inherently magical, hellishly difficult to make, and incredibly expensive. It's also the key ingredient in a lot of magical Foki, and it's what makes this balm react the way it does to astral energy. She dips a metallic fingertip into the jar and begins to stir. The boundaries between the material world and the astral plane are weak here. This stuff acts sort of like a lens. It focuses your perceptions, makes the haze real. She applies a smear of ointment to her forehead. It looks like a glob of glittering white paint. With this, we can deal with the spirit on its own level. I'm glad that you came prepared. She dips her finger back into the balm and traces it down your forehead. The ointment feels cool and oily on your skin. I didn't have much of a choice. There's no way that I could pull this off without alchemical assistance. I wouldn't even want to try. She fishes in her bag a second time and pulls out a pair of silver necklaces. A rune-inscribed pendant dangles from each. This will protect your astral self from spiritual possession. Don't take it off while we're dealing with the shrine. Whatever you do. I'm gonna put the pendant on. Got it. Glory puts on her own pendant. The necklace glitters slightly against her pale skin. I don't know what's going to happen when we step into that room, Edie. We're playing with forces outside of our control. Are you ready to do this? Ready as I'll ever be. There's a long pause before she speaks again. When she does, her voice sounds strained. At the very beginning of this, we both agreed that Harrow needs to die. I still want that. I want to bury my claws in his belly and pull his entrails out for what he did to me, and to all the other kids like me. But from what we've seen here tonight, I suspect that Harrow isn't the real power here anymore. Explain? I think that when Harrow started using his shrine, he handed the spirit trapped inside of it the keys to the kingdom. The bastard might think that he's in charge here, but he isn't. Not anymore. He's a servant, just like everybody else. The only difference is that he doesn't know it. Interesting. What this means for us is that we shouldn't have to kill Harrow to put an end to all this. I don't think that he'll be much of a threat on his own, not anymore. If we can manage to purify the spirit rather than killing it, it'll withdraw from the cultists' minds willingly. We can save them. I think that if we purify the spirit, Stella will die. We'll save all the kids, and the nightmares will end. Yeah, but if we do that, Harrow will get away. Yeah, she spits out the words, a bitter expression on her face. Harrow will get away. I don't like it either. He deserves to face justice, but I also don't think that he poses the kind of threat that he used to. It looks to me like he's traded his old tricks for easy power. Take that power away from him, and what does he become? A pathetic little man who failed to satisfy a vindictive idol. Well, it's a great theory, but that's all it is. We don't know for a fact that if any of what you just said is true. No, we don't. I think that it's likely, but we don't know for sure. After what Harrow did to you, I won't let him live. Not when we're so close to killing the bastard. There's a long pause. Glory looks to be at war with herself. Finally, she turns her head away and spits out a reply. I don't want to let him live either. What I want to do is watch the bastard bleed out. Her hands clench into fists. Screw it. We'll do this your way. If nothing else, I'll get a satisfaction of watching the monster squirm. A momentary expression of doubt flickers across her face, but she squashes it down. The frown that replaces it is hard and angry. Let's put an end to all this. First the spirit, then Harrow. We'll make them suffer for what they have done. Stella dies tonight. That's the plan. Let's do it. And with that, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Shadowrun Dragonfall. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.